Bulls make money, bears make money, pigs get slaughtered. That is the old school saying that applies to the markets, and I think this week was a prime example of that. The previous videos that I released on Monday and Wednesday of this week, I addressed my bias, which was relatively neutral slash bullish, as long as the markets remained above this area here. The video I released on Wednesday, I addressed taking profits on Wednesday. Now, with my bias, if I decided to continue to hold the non-directional trades, specifically the iron condor, the iron butterflies, and the XSP and the SPX, it would have meant I would have been slaughtered. The reason we say pigs get slaughtered is because it is part of being greedy. If you are greedy in the markets, you can be destroyed. I opened these positions on a Monday, and if most of the profit target is achieved by Wednesday, I take my profits. If I look to get greedy and continue to hold, these types of positions can be crushed. On the other end, if you are a bear and you are greedy and you are continuing to hold, let's just say you were short last week and you continue to hold and the market gaps up and you're holding puts for a few days, you will be slaughtered also, as the time decay on your options will be crushing you. Obviously, these are just a couple examples to show you why you don't want to be greedy, and having a solid plan is intelligent as a trader. Bears were able to make money this week. I was not bearish. I made no money really on the downside, except for Thursday. I'll showcase you guys a trade that I couldn't resist taking on Thursday. But for the most part, if you were bearish, you were still able to make money if you were just patient, waiting for the markets to break down below these key levels and zones. There was a retest with the time to enter your short trade either here or here, and we'll take a look at that again regarding the setup, because in hindsight, it's always one thing, but that's why I do my videos in advance and try to articulate different scenarios and game plans and what to expect. So then when price action is happening in real time, you already have some sort of an idea of how to trade. Now, it was not expected, in my opinion, for the markets to close below 640 this week, but we are in a heavy headline driven type of markets. We are in massive net negative gamma territory. So this is the type of time or the type of environment in which this type of price action can occur. 20% of the time, or maybe 10% of the time, this is the type of price action we'll see, which means majority of the time, this is not normal trading activity. So if you can make money now, that's excellent, but don't get addicted or used to this type of price action, as it is not normal for the markets. And when things inevitably flip back, and pun intended, when the market is back above the gamma flip zone and it can sustain being above it, we will see a different style of trading. Bears will begin to struggle in that type of environments. The VIX is continuing to rise, but you see it's not spiking as heavy as it was before. That is to be expected. We don't really know what's going to come yet. Obviously, there's still a lot of macroeconomic news that are affecting things. We see that we have now broken down below this anchored VWAP, which was from last year's low, and the market is now coming down to we call this the 2-year anchored VWAP, which is just an anchored VWAP anchored to the start of the previous year. So this area should be interesting. There is a massive amount of gamma at 630 on the entire options chain for the SPY for all expirations. So it's going to be very interesting what happens here this week. You guys know to stay tuned for tomorrow. I will be releasing a video sharing my thoughts for the upcoming week here, updating these gamma exposure levels and updating all the levels. This is just a weekly recap to the previous videos. Our trades did hit their profit targets. Again, it was already covered on Wednesday's video, so I don't need to cover them here, which was essentially the iron condor covering this range. And then I talked about a tinier one in a tinier range, or an iron fly and so forth. And we can see that the markets did consolidate around this range here for 3 days, which is excellent for time decay if you are trading weekly options. So 4 DTE or even 7 DTE if you're opening them on a Monday and using the following Monday expiration. Obviously, the time decay on the Friday expiration is going to be incredible, but there was a lot of profit made, at least for my style of trading, in the first 3 days, which is why I was very comfortable just sitting out to the rest of the week. And for Thursday, I could not ignore the gamma exposure profile. So I opened a really cheap trade here, and this was the gamma exposure profile. This is Thursday, 10 minutes into the market open. I just say 650, 6,500 is looking interesting for today, as this is where the market was in massive net negative gamma territory. It was the absolute gamma strike. There was a lot of volume coming in here. It would have been difficult for the markets to rally all the way back up above this area. So I saw this as any of these being a good place to take a short trade off of. But instead of trying to time it, I just said, whatever, I'll just open up a trade essentially targeting down here. I used the ES instead of the SPX, but I was analyzing the SPX, and this was my trade. It was a broken wing butterfly, as I wanted no risk to the downside. It was just one lot, so a very small position. It only costed me, if I remember correctly, about $150 $150 in, it was a debit, so $150 was the max loss in the trade. And that's if the markets went up. But if the markets did go down, it had the potential to make over $1,000 if we pinned around here. And even if I didn't hold it for a pin, there was the opportunity to make 500 bucks. I saw this as an easy trade and I couldn't resist, even though I came into the day with the mentality of I'm not trading today. But the 0DTE gamma exposure profile was way too easy. At this point, this is when the market was around this area. So I didn't even time the entry for that trade. I just said, whatever, if the market comes down here, I want to just get a position a little bit early. And if we were trying to time the entry or looking for a setup, that's essentially where, in my opinion, would have been a good time to enter. So if we take a look, this is the SPY here. I'm just going to pull up. These are the quants trading app levels that we're looking at. Just going to turn back on the shaded areas. And this is what I was talking about. This is the retracement. So at this point, the market has broken down and then it retraced. Once it retraced, it was rejecting. This is from the quant trading app scripts. So this is outside of the gamma exposure levels and it's coincided with some other additional information. We see these rejections here. So this is essentially when it was a good time to get short. I entered short somewhere around here, which is not a great time. But again, I wasn't looking to time it perfectly. I blindly just looked at the gamma exposure profile. And within 1 second, I was just like, oh, I should probably just get short today just because of the way this was looking. And the trade obviously worked out pretty well. So I wanted to showcase you guys that even though it was not my game plan coming into the day, it was not my game plan at the start of the week, the 0DTE gamma exposure profile sometimes just presents very simple or clean intraday opportunities. Also, I haven't been talking that much about 0DTE trades because I'm trying to steer a lot more traders in the direction of maybe swing trading to help you guys from struggling. Everyone thinks that 0DTE is the only way to make money in this market, and I think it's a lot easier to just be swing trading, especially the type of spreads in which we've been trading, as you guys have seen in this series thus far. We are looking at consecutive weeks of similar trades working out week to week despite the markets being this crazy. Now, if you asked me at the top of the day on Friday what I would have expected, I would have expected the markets to pin right within this area, but it was shocking to me that we did close below 635. So right now, my expectations, we'll see the futures market opens later on today. But my expectation, or I guess by the time I get this video out, the futures market might be open. I'm not sure when I'm going to get this video out, but regardless, we have until before tomorrow morning. My expectations would be that the market is not going to close down wherever it is. So if it starts the week at 630 or so, let's just say we gap down, we start at 630, then I'm going to put money on the market being above 630 by Thursday. The market is closed on Friday, so it's a short week, which already makes it strange. It's going to be 4 days. My money would be wherever the market opens, we are going to be higher than it at some points in the week. Whether we close above it, that's to be determined, but that's essentially how I'm going to approach this week. We'll cover it more in tomorrow's video, but remember, 630 from now, you guys can know, is a very, very powerful strike on the options chain for the SPY. In my experience, also, we don't see the market spend this much time below the G flip. This is very unexpected. So I would say, let's just say the G flip for this upcoming week, we got to wait at least 15 minutes or so after the market opens to get an accurate read on this. Let's just say it's above here, then it's going to be a no-brainer for me. I'm going to essentially look to target that strike, as I think the market will make an attempt to get up to it. And if it does not next week, then it more than certainly should happen the week right after, and that's how I'm going to be approaching the next couple weeks. Something else that's interesting to take note of is this is the first time in recorded history for QTA that the market has closed below the 2 sigma level. I believe now it's been 4 times in a week. This is not normal for quant trading app. So this is the first time in quant trading. I think quant trading app at this point is 5 years old, or 4.5 or something like that years old. This is the first time we've seen this type of activity, and obviously it happens. This type of stuff happens with Trump as president. The last time he was president, we had a lot of different, record-breaking type of things happening from a quantifiable standpoint. Just wanted to point that out to you guys. What does that mean for next week? Not sure. Normally, if this was any other time, any other president, any other administration, I would say within 99% certainty, the market is going to be up next week. But no one knows right now. I'm still going to come in with that slight bias. However, that means maybe broken wing butterflies for me, because I do still want the possibility of making money with a consolidation or non-directional choppy week, but I don't want to put any risk to the upside. That's how I'm going to approach this. I don't want the risk to the upside, because one tweet, one news, one headline, whatever, can trigger a 4 or 5% jump in the market. We have seen it happen many times before with Trump as president. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. It is late this week, as it was not recorded on Friday. I'm actually decided to record it on the weekend when things are a little bit more calm and I didn't have to rush to get it out before the market is done, as there was nothing really new to report before the market would have closed. Anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you're new here. Leave a comment down below and like the video if you learned something. I'll catch you in the next one.